Hello, my sweet mamas. Welcome back to Life's a Mom. Today we are sitting with Elena. Hi, Elena.
Hi, Nicole.
Thank you for being on the podcast. So we're going to talk all about motherhood, and she created something so beautiful, honestly, that a lot of moms we don't talk about, and it's to do with potty training. And I remember when I first started potty training my older son, and luckily he loves M&Ms. So it was easy with him. He knew that he would run, and even if it was a little bit in the toilet, he's like, M&M, M&M. So it was very easy. But there are children that go through challenges, and there's classes that parents are so desperate to get their children on the right track regarding potty training. So maybe share a little bit with our audience, a little bit about yourself and what started it and your whole journey. I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, with a big pleasure. And actually, thank you so much for having me in this podcast. I'm very honored and I'm very glad being here. Yes, actually, I am nothing. Well, you will be surprised, but my career has nothing to do with potty training overall, neither with textile industry and with baby industry. I'm a trained lawyer. I used to practice in France I used to practice for 10 years for a corporate construction company. So again, nothing to do with potty training or with textile industry. I used to work for them in Paris and then here in the United States. And actually, the idea was happened to come to me when I was in the middle of my corporate ladder climbing while managing the motherhood and two small kids. And we started potty training. And this is where everything started. I think this is where the idea came to be because what happened is my daughter I was struggling with potty training with my firstborn for different reasons. But with my daughter, it was pretty smooth during the daytime. She grasped it so quickly. But she refused wearing diapers at night, like completely. And this was, I think, one of the most dauntiest and complicated periods of my life. Because I think everyone is talking about the fact that we are tired. Of course, I was tired. I was exhausted. I was completely overwhelmed with everything that happening. But on top of being exhausted, like you become so sensitive. I became extremely sensitive. I burst into tears in one of the important meetings because someone scolded me over something. And I just burst into tears. I was just crying. I couldn't stop myself. And I think this is something that really impacted my career because, well, how can you climb the ladder if you just cry over things that someone told you? But they didn't know that I was going through sleepless nights for already several days or even weeks, and I was in the edge of the nerves. So yeah, this was very complicated period with me. And what happened actually is I felt not only exhausted, but I also felt lonely during this journey, because when I started to try to get the advices from professionals, I went to my pediatrician and I asked her, like, what can I do? Like, she doesn't want to wear diapers. What do I do? And she's like, oh no, nighttime dryness is something that comes way after the daytime dryness, and you have to wait. Usually kids outgrow it at 5. And I was like thinking, she's 2 now. If I need to do the sleepless night until she is 5, I'm going to go cuckoo, because basically every single night I was waking up to a soaked baby completely, like from head to toe. I had to wash her. I had to clean everything. I needed to put her back to bed. And it was good luck to me because the baby just took shower. She was full of energy. And then, of course, wake up for the work and prepare everyone for the school and so on. So it was a daunting experience. And I was thinking, I cannot wait for 5 years. Like, I cannot wait for her to be 5 years old. And this is advice that I also got in many moms groups when I was trying to get some information. I was trying to get solution. And everyone was saying, put back diapers on. And I started to chase her to put the diapers on, because I was thinking, I'm not ready to wait for her to like become dry at 5. Right. I want sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm in the middle of the breakdown. And actually at one point it was very funny. It was actually her who guided me. My daughter guided me in that journey. She At one point when I was just trying to put the diapers in the night, I was like, look, no, let's put diapers on so you don't have to wet the bed and everything. She looked at me and she said, but mommy, I'm a big girl. And I don't know, there is something switched in my brain. And I was thinking, there is something wrong with those advices. There is something wrong with this narrative saying that you have to put them back in diapers during the nighttime because nighttime comes so much later after the daytime because we basically prompt them. I was prompting her throughout the day that she's a big girl, that we transition from diapers, that she wears now underwear. And here I am with a diaper in the hand trying to force her back. I didn't feel that it was something right. My guts was saying to me, you need to do something differently.
Mama always knows best.
Mama always knows best, right? And our intuition, I think the females, we have this intuition that tells you like, yeah, listen to the others, but also try to find your way.
Right. 100%.
Right? I'm sure that you already experienced so many occasions like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, so much. So before you continue, I want to ask, so you, even though she did not want to put her pull-up or her diaper on, you allowed her to stay in her underwear and still get the bed wet every night.
Yes, because I couldn't find anything that would hold the whole bladder releases. And the diapers were not an option. And I tried to. And I tried to find something. Some of the solutions, they were just not, they were just not grasping everything. They were not catching the leaks because during the nighttime, it's a full bladder release. So they don't hold, like maybe during the daytime, they would just release dribbles and then they feel the wetness and they realize and then they go potty.
Right.
During the nighttime, there is nothing in between. There is either dryness or full bladder release when everything is soaked. And the solution that I was using, they were either leaking completely like regular underwear or they were feeling so bulky, almost like a diaper. And she didn't like them neither because she felt that she was wearing, again, diaper and she refused doing that.
Oof.
And I was actually looking for a solution that would look and feel like real underwear, but could hold a full bladder release that is happening during the nighttime. And I couldn't find it. And I couldn't find it nowhere, like on the marketplace. I was like testing all the groups, moms groups. Do you have something like this? And no one like knew about something similar. And this is where actually at one night, like the idea came to me, why I don't use something where I just add the pocket where I can use my maternity pads. I had like a bunch of maternity pads that I had since hospital. And I was thinking at least it maybe absorb, 40, 50% of the leaks that she has during the night. And maybe I will need to change the pajama, but probably I will just not need to wash the full baby during the night. It will be great relief. And I tried it. So I took just one of her underwears that she was using and put a little pocket in the underwear. It was absolutely ugly, to be honest. I'm not crafty. It was hideous. But she was accepting to wear it because it's still underwear. She still could see her mermaids. So she was like, okay, fine.
Oh my gosh.
And I put 2 of my maternity pads into the underwear. And actually the first night, I realized that it held. She still woke up. So she still woke up, came to me and said, Mama, I am wet. But surprisingly enough, she was wet, like the underwear was wet, but outside, even the pajama was dry. And I was like, oh, I only need to spend 2 minutes to change her and that's it. And she can go back to sleep.
It worked.
And it worked. And I was like, okay, I can handle that. If for 5 years again, like for 3 more years, I'm doing that, I can at least handle that because she back to bed in 2 minutes, not half an hour as it was before or even beyond.
So for so long, you would wake up in the middle of the night, bathe her, which would probably wake her up in the middle of the night, and then you would put her back to bed?
That's what I was doing. I think before I invented it, it happened like it was like 2 weeks that we were going through this
but those 2 weeks
bonanza.
Oh my gosh. I mean, those 2 weeks probably felt like years.
They felt like years. And I was honestly, I was in the verge of the meltdown. Was it what I told you at work happened and lots of other things where I really felt alone and completely desperate.
Wow. And your daughter, did she get better as the time progressed?
Yeah, actually, once we started using that, I started to sleep better for sure. But in a matter of few more weeks, I think like 3 more weeks, she was fully out of diapers. So the whole process
At
took us,
night?
yeah, at night. Day was already tackled,
Right.
and 1 month after daytime, the nighttime was tackled as well.
Because you would use the special underwear with the pad.
Because I was letting exactly because she was feeling the wetness. She was getting the feedback of the consequences every single night, and little by little, her accidents started to be more remote. So instead of waking up in like 2 or 3 a.m. in the mornings, she started to wake up at like 5:30, 6, and then she was like holding the bladder through the night.
Wow.
So she was like 2 and 3 months when we've finished completely diapers. And when I say this story to her friends or there's a mom of her friends, they're not believing. They almost not believing me because most of their kids are still in nighttime diapers.
My son is, and I would love to get him out of it. I could, because people ask me, "Oh, is your son potty trained?" Like you asked me.
Mhm.
And I said, "Yeah," but I guess not, because at nighttime he's still in pull-ups, and he still gives me a little bit of a struggle sometimes with the pull-up.
Mhm.
But so in the beginning, I had to put the underwear over the pull-up, but he would still feel the pull-up.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. So that's very interesting that it's also very visual for the kids, right? If they see, like you said, she saw her little princess and butterflies
Yeah.
on her underwear, and that made her feel more comfortable.
Comfortable and more empowered. It's sometimes it's just psychological switch. I'm not a baby anymore. I'm a big girl, of course. At 2 and 3, I'm not a big girl,
Yeah,
but in their mindset,
right.
like, I have underwear now. Like, I'm not a baby.
Yeah.
It's just such an empowering feeling and like boosting the confidence as
You're
as
right.
nothing.
And
Yeah.
kids need that.
Kids need that.
They really do. Like, just because they're kids, they're still humans. They still have emotions and feelings, and they also need to feel like confident.
Exactly.
And I love
And
that.
I would love your son to try our solution. I'm sure.
Maybe I will. Maybe we'll have to work on that. So, for moms who are hearing about MyBeeBear for the first time,
Mhm.
what makes it different from anything else on the market?
Well, we are a unique solution. This is something that I am very proud of because this
As
is
you
something.
should.
I thank you. And I am. I'm in love with my third baby. I'm calling it my third baby.
Aww.
And I'm in love with it because I did something that I needed, and I see that I have great customers feedback. People writing and saying, "Oh my God, this is just such an amazing solution. It helped my child to graduate from diapers much faster and without all the fuss and all the dauntingness that I was going through." So what is unique about our solution is that it's underwear that you can use throughout the whole process and even use it as regular underwear afterwards. So it's underwear that helps parents to keep consistent. And this is one of the things I think what makes potty training daunting and complicated nowadays is that we do not know how to manage the consistency throughout the whole process. So we start with potty training at home, right? We use the bare bottom method or any other methods, and then we need to go to the park and we need to go to the friend's house. What do? We put diapers back. And then we go back to home and probably we again try a little bit of potty training, and then nighttime comes and we put the diapers back. It confused kids a lot because, okay, mom, am I a big girl? Am I a big boy? Like where I am? Am I a big kid or am I still a baby? And also it gives them the indication that the diapers are here. If I'm tired of potty training, I can always get back because the diapers are here. And this is actually what happened with my son, because with my son, I was following all the guidelines of waiting for the signs of readiness. We started at 3. Yeah. We were switching back and forth between diapers and underwear. And at one point, he didn't like something about potty training. He had a huge meltdown and he asked his diaper back. So we had to restart like a few months after. And because he was refusing, like even looking at the potty, sitting anymore.
Wow.
Because for him, there was something that he didn't like.
It just something happened like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So actually, my mom overreacted on his accident. So, and he didn't like it. But I think if the diaper was not an option, he would probably say, well, okay, I didn't like the reaction, but I have no choice. I have an underwear only, so let's continue. But because diaper was still in his size and was still used by us, he just switched back to diapers and we had to restart it over. So keeping a child keeping consistency during the potty training, keeping a child in the underwear throughout the whole process can really help a lot in accelerating it and also making it more power struggle-ish, if we can say so, because our underwear can help parents to can be used at home, so it can help parents being consistent at home when they go out or about. So when parents needs to go to the park and they need to add some absorbency, they just add one or several pads in the hidden pocket, and then once they need it for the nighttime, again they can add more padding or they can add more absorbent pad to grasp the accidents, the consequences of the accidents. But this way they keep consistent and it makes the whole process so much easier.
I can imagine. So you're telling me if they wear this underwear, their pants will remain dry if they have an accident.
If you add
the
pads, yes.
Wow.
This is the whole idea behind the underwear, is that helping parents to adjust the absorbency depending on what they need. So current solution, for instance, that I was using and didn't work for our nighttime training, they usually have this built-in absorbency, like maybe 1 or 2 layers of cotton or like waterproof layer and then some layers of cotton. And usually they just hold dribbles. But when you're using something where you can add 1, 2, several pads, like some pads can be really absorbent, this will be the solution where pads would absorb the accidents that go through like when kids having the full bladder release
right
happen during the accidents. But the pads will prevent the leaks going out. But the fact that child skin still remain in contact with the cotton, they feel the consequences of the accidents.
That's what I was going to ask, because you want them to feel uncomfortable.
You want them to feel uncomfortable.
Right. You don't want them to keep having accidents and just be like, oh, it's okay. My underwear has a pad and it absorbed it. You want them to feel that uncomfortability. So it gives them the feeling of that uncomfortable feeling, that their underwear is wet. But also, if you're out, for the parents, it's good because you don't have to, like you have to do, give a whole shower and be all wet.
Yes.
And I know what you're talking about because I tried one night with my son. He just turned 3. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? You are a big boy. Today we're going to try underwear. And he goes, okay. What does he know?
Yeah.
So I put the underwear on and I go in the morning, I go to his room. Everything is wet. I'm like, how did it get to the shirt? He got so wet, it got all over him like a bath. So I'm like, okay, then we have to go back to pull-ups. But I love that you have that where it's just a pad and they can still, I can show him in the morning, you peed, And then, so when did you get rid of the pad with your daughter? Putting the pad in the underwear?
When she started to be dry completely,
okay.
This is where I just removed the pad. And now like she's actually using our underwear, but like regular underwear because they fit in very, very well. This is another thing that I realized that in girls' underwear industry, lots of the underwear, they kind of shaped as women underwear. So like pretty like narrow.
Yeah.
And she didn't like it because it would twist,
Yeah.
As girls, we don't want things to go, especially like
boys too, by the way.
Really?
As a woman, I like to wear my underwear tight.
Yeah.
I don't like anything loose. Mm-hmm. So when I would put underwear on my son, my husband would say, what are you doing? He has junk in there. Like, give him some space. So like, and it's narrow too for boys, unless you get boxers, but the boxers can also be tight. My son is a big, he's 3 years old and he fits into 6'7" He's a big, he's big, tall, but when you showed me the underwear, which do you mind showing everyone the underwear and
I would love
how it works?
So this is the underwear. This is the underwear that this is the hour box actually. Sorry. So this is how it works. So you have, by the way, our underwear is made of 100% organic cotton, and this is a meaningful choice for me. This is intentional.
Especially for kids with eczema like my son.
With eczema, but for any kids. It goes on the kid's crotch area. The crotch area is where the mucus of the body meets the tissue. It absorbs everything. So if you have any nasty chemicals in any underwear, this will absorb it. So this is why I wanted to make sure that I want to invent something that my kids can wear without me thinking, oh my God, I'm like poisoning them.
Right, right.
So that is why the choice is, and I know sometimes people have, I know its price point can be a bit high because of the
You know what?
organic
For your
choice.
child,
Yeah.
I never ate organic till I had kids.
Yeah,
You know, because I want them to have the best of the best, and it's expensive.
It
but
is.
for me, there's no price to give your child the best you can give them. You know,
Yes.
so I love that. I love that you have cotton.
I'm the same as you. Like, I prefer not to have lots of dresses and lots of outfits, but my kids will eat organic food because their health is a priority.
100%.
And the hospital bills cost more than that, right?
I
So
love it.
this is how it works. So you have this, this little pocket in the crotch area where you can add pads. So we are doing reusable pads, but actually some parents, they're using disposable pads. There are several brands. We are actually developing our disposable pads for heavy wetters, for actually bigger kids, but they can be also used for smaller kids. But there are so many brands with disposable pads if parents prefer. So parents just put the pad inside of this little pocket. If one pad is not enough, they can add another pad or even third pad with no problem.
It will feel comfortable still?
They will feel the pads. If you
Okay.
put 3 pads, and again, it depends what kind of pads. So, of course, if you use reusable pads, they tend to be a little bit thicker than disposables.
Mhm.
So if you put 3 reusable pads, it may feel bulky. But if you use like 3 disposable pads, they might actually feel pretty light.
Okay.
But I found that a very good disposable pad, like heavy absorbency disposable pad can hold even like adult, tidal release. So if they can handle adult bladder release, and they can definitely manage
and
kids release.
If they, like you said, they could use disposable pads anywhere.
They can use disposable pads everywhere. Like they can have some of them with them. And every time there is an accident, they just change the underwear because, of course, it will be wet because the padding will be there to catch the accidents. But the accidents will happen in here.
Okay.
So the kids will feel the wetness. The kids will get this body awareness that they need. They will have the sensory feedback that they need to graduate from diapers. Because basically the diapers, they are so great at their job. They wake the wetness. They take away the wetness and the feeling that something is going on. And what it does actually, it prevents the bladder and brain communicate properly. Basically, the brain doesn't understand what bladder is saying. And when it's full, when it needs to be released, and when the brain needs to go somewhere, like do the actions of going to the potty or using the bathroom and so on.
Right.
Because, how kids do in their needs. They just walk in, oh, I feel something, boom, I need to go, and I continue.
Right.
Potty training is something different. It's a skill that they need to acquire, and to acquire, to go, to understand the bladder when it's full, to understand that they need to go somewhere, to move their body to some other space, pull down, pull up their underwear. And to do so, they need to get the awareness of how their body is functioning, how the body cues are working. And this is where the sensory feedback when they have an accident is so important in the continuation, because if they do not get the feedback, how they can understand that they actually need to go somewhere.
Right.
Like we can prompt them and make them prompt and say, okay, well, now you have to go to the potty. But they need to understand that they need to go to the potty because their body tells them, not my parent, not someone,
Right. So do you believe that it helps them get potty trained faster with MyBeeBear?
I believe that it helps them to potty train faster when they feel what's going on with their body. And it can be MyBeeBear. There are so many other solutions for the potty training. Closed diaperings is one of them, though lots of kids still feel that these are diapers, so they kind of, because they're bulky and they kind of...
No, this looks like underwear.
Yeah, this one is looking like underwear.
And I love how wide it is, like you mentioned, because they make little girl underwear and like it's like so narrow.
Yes.
And they need to change that. But this is wonderful. So what are the price points?
So we sell it so underwear alone is $21 per pair, but with a pad, we sell it for $24, but you have also bundles that can help save up. And I know that some parents say this is expensive price point, and I understand that. It's true. It's when you compare to, let's say, cheaper solution that we see a lot on the internet that often produced in China and just shipped from China. But when we compare with cheaper solutions, of course, it's pricey. But this is organic cotton again, and this was a meaningful and intentional for me to make it of organic cotton, because when I started to deep dive into the textile industry, how things are done and how like all the potty training is working, but especially how the underwear and how clothes are produced, I realized that cotton is great, but cotton and cotton, there is a differences. There is conventional cotton and organic cotton. There is a big differences in the way that they are produced, and the consequences of to the health can be also different. So for instance, when we talk about organic cotton, our cotton is certified, is God certified. So every step is thoroughly followed. The cotton never been treated with pesticides. During the whole production, they are not allowed to use any harmful chemicals. It's only organic, plant-based chemicals, dyes that are used during the production. But when we talk about the conventional cotton oftentimes is treated from the seed level. So starting from the seed level, there are pesticides that is just building up on this cotton until it goes into the bulb, until it goes into the yarns. They are also allowed to use lots of chemicals, which stay maybe longer as a color on the underwear, but also has a lot of phthalates and volatile chemicals that exist there. And what we don't realize, and this is something that I didn't realize before actually starting this brand, we cannot wash them off. You cannot wash off the pesticides that was in the cotton from the seed level, because it's been such a long time that it kind of impregnated inside that lots of the chemicals like this, they cannot be alleviated. So I was thinking, like, for regular dresses, it's fine, but for underwear, which we put in the most sensitive parts of our body, I want it to be really, really clean. I want it to be very safe for the kids to wear, because I wanted my kids to wear that. And I knew that I only put something that is safe on them. But also the advantage of our underwear is that this is something that you can use, again, use it for potty training. Once potty training is done, you use it as regular underwear. It's breathable. As you can see, like you can, my daughter is actually, she's been potty trained for several years now, and she's wearing those.
So soft. I love it. And what sizes?
So I started actually from sizes 3 to 5 originally, because this is where I was thinking the potty training period is happening. And then I started to have lots of parents who now tend to try starting potty training earlier. It's a new trend, and which is amazing, by the way. Lots of countries start to guide their citizens to start potty training earlier. And UK, by the way, I don't know if you've ever heard, but UK started this program when they waving out of wait until they're ready towards early potty training in 2025. I think they did it. So I had parents who started to contact me, and they were like, "Oh, we want smaller sizes. Do you do some smaller sizes?" And I have also parents who started to contact me and saying, "Oh, my 8-year-old is still wet in the bed," or "Oh, my 7-year-old, when he plays like with his friends at school, sometimes he forgets going to the bathroom and has full bladder release and this in front of the whole school, and like I don't want to keep him in diapers. What can I do? Like, can you do bigger sizes?" So now we're going to release bigger. We released smaller sizes like a few weeks ago, and now we're going to release also bigger sizes that goes until size 10.
That's amazing. And is there a reason why you picked this color initially?
I liked it. I wanted to do something that is gender neutral.
Okay.
So yeah, especially for the first collection. And I was actually choosing this with my kids. So we're like doing it together. It's a small family business. So we were doing that together. And I was choosing between different type of colors, and they liked so we have one collection which is green collection and one collection which is yellow collection. So they choose with me the colors and they also choose with me the little animals. So this one I did without because I have some of the clients that didn't want like any design on the underwear.
Right.
But actually we do little animals in the front, which was also a design choice because I wanted the kids to gain independence by knowing where is the front and where is the back. Like my daughter was struggling with tags because the tags is you say okay, the tags is in the back, but like it's in the back, but it's also inside.
Yeah.
Too many things to remember. While when they have like little animal
no
in the
tag.
front.
Look at this. No tag. Oh, where's Pete? No tag. I love that. Because it's annoying.
It is annoying.
Oh,
it's scratchy.
Yeah. And my first son suffers from eczema, so every little thing.
Oh yeah, I can
gets him
only
irritated, and that's wonderful. I look specifically for things with no tags, so I love.
This is where you know that it was invented by a mom who went through this process.
Oh my God! But you see, no one talks about it. You don't have people talking about it. You just say, "Oh, I'm gonna potty train," and then you see moms going. And it used to be Google, now ChatGPT, and like, I feel like there's no right or wrong way when it comes to potty training, right? Because every child is different. What might work for one child might not work for the other. Just like you said, for your son, it was different. For your daughter, would not put a pull-up at all at night, but she was trained in the morning. So, moms who are hard on themselves, I want them to know that there's no right or wrong way. There's no book that tells you have to do it this way, right? But I love this so much because it really helps not just the kids, but the parents. And sometimes, like you felt lonely. A lot of us feel lonely because we don't know if we're doing things right or wrong, and we're afraid to ask. And, many times, luckily, I love my pediatrician, but many moms have come to me saying that they have asked their pediatrician questions about potty training or about food, whatever it is. And they don't always give the best advice because it's like not a cookie cutter way of doing things, But I love everything about this. And we've learned so much about this, but I kind of want to know a little bit more about you and the backstory and how did becoming a mom change you as a woman?
Oh, excellent question. How becoming mom changes us all, right?
Right?
I love those videos when we were showing how we were in the 90s, like,
Oh my gosh, yes.
Going to the nightclub, and here we are. Our nightclub is Bluey on the TV.
Right, because we have Club Bed and DJ Pillow.
Yes, yes, I love that.
That's our thing, yeah. No more clubbing days. No. Though we should still have a good time, Sometimes it's nice to go out But it's funny because a lot of the moms, a lot of my friends that are not moms, and they want to go out, they're like, okay, so, we'll meet around 9. I was like, 9?
I'm already in the bed at 9.
I'm sleeping already at 9. 8:30, I'm in bed. And then I try to read whatever book I have and try to get through the book. And by 9, I'm out. But that's why it's important to have a village of moms because we understand, Yeah. And it's different. It's a different phase of life. So being a mom
changes us so much.
So much. And like, if you were not a mom, you wouldn't think of this.
Oh, never. Yeah.
Who would have thought about something like this, So I think it's a good thing, when you become a mom, that it gives you different ideas and look what you've created to help other moms. I love that.
To go through that.
I love it.
I think it's, being a mom is also finding in yourself resources that you never thought you would have.
Right.
I thought of myself always like as very impatient person. I don't have patience for things. I want things to be quickly. And then there is a meltdown in the middle of the supermarket because you forbade your toddler to eat this soap that looks like strawberry, but actually it's a soap. And you look at the people and you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I actually have a patience. So you stand, you try to manage the emotions, but it turns out that you are actually a badass mom. You have a lot of resources of calmness in yourself. And then you just maybe have your friend Cabernet Sauvignon helping you in the nights. But
I love that. And so let me ask you, what does support look like to you? Do you have a village? How do you find support? Because being a mom, it's hard to do alone.
It is hard to do alone.
Yeah. You mentioned your mom.
Yeah, but my mom is not here. My mom is far away. my village actually is my family. First of all, I have an amazing husband who helps me a lot, and I think without him, I would never start this company. He supported me throughout the whole time, especially when I decided to quit my job. You know, when you're in the corporate, you have a good salary, a good position. Maybe you're not climbing it really good, but still there is a safe space, right?
Right.
When you every single month, you know that the salary comes out,
Right.
and here I am building a business, and all the money goes into the business, and I don't bring to the family table at all so far. And it's hard to stomach, and my husband was an amazing support throughout the whole motherhood and throughout the whole business building. Also, I'm really grateful to have good friends around me, mom friends, who are here when I need them, and it's amazing because both of us, my husband and I, we don't have family here. So my family lives in Russia. My husband's family lives in France, and none of them are here when we need them. So we're basically like alone unless we have a village, and we're grateful for the village to exist. We have an amazing friends and we have amazing neighbors. So yeah,
Friends are the family that you pick.
exactly. It's
So
true. It's true.
It really is,
It's
because,
so true.
I remember, I don't speak to my dad, and my listeners know about my story, but I remember like having my friends over for Thanksgiving, and I remember thinking like, this is my family. I
Yeah.
got to choose them. And what a blessing that is.
It's true.
Right?
It is true.
You're not alone. You have your family that you got to pick. And I love that. So let me ask you something. What was the hardest part about starting MyBeeBear from scratch? Like, you literally started from scratch. You just said, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So what were some of your challenges and obstacles?
Oh my God. It was
Oh my God.
it was a bumpy road.
I can
I think
imagine.
the hardest part was actually to decide starting it, because, it didn't start. It didn't start right away.
Okay.
It was not like, okay, it worked for me, let me start a business. I actually didn't even think to start a business back then. I was still in my corporate, feeling comfortable, maybe not always feeling happy with where I'm going to. And again, climbing corporate ladder when you have small kids. And after the incident of bursting into tears, I don't think it helped me a lot. I think that one didn't help me at all.
Oh, no.
But I was not even thinking that I can be a businesswoman one day, because, you know what you know. So for 10 years, I was doing law in a corporate. I didn't know anything about textile industry, potty training, or anything. But I was thinking like, this is such a great product. Someone needs to invent it. So I just put it somewhere in the box, like, okay, this is a great product to have. And I think when I really realized that probably will not have any opportunities within the company where I was working, and I was trying to think like, what do I do next? Like, do I kind of sit there until my retirement and hoping that I'm not going to be fired, or do I do something else? I think this is where the idea came to me to give it a try to MyBeeBear, and to actually help other moms to go through the potty training the same way this underwear works for me. I wanted the opportunity to give this opportunity to other moms. And I think this is where I started to think about it. I started to see how I can start it. And I think the hardest part was in starting it, quitting my job. Also, it's a huge decision to take, and it was not easy decision. And then finding out the right way to do so, because I had absolutely no idea how to find manufacturer. Everyone is swearing by Alibaba, but I tried Alibaba. It was such a poor quality, and I didn't want the poor quality. I wanted something that, again, I could put on my kids. And when I was like looking what they provided me, I was like, no, I'm not drop shipping. This is my brand. I want it to be a top notch. So I was trying to find someone who, first of all, who would accept to work with a small brand, but also would provide quality to the level that I wanted to be. And it was a bumpy ride, because the companies either they want a huge MOQ, which is minimum order quantity, and when you're just starting, you don't have $1 million in your accounts to order, like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of underwear. Right. Or they were providing such a poor quality that it was just not at all acceptable to me. So I think this was like the finding the right partner in production was one of the hardest challenges. And I'm so grateful that I bumped into my current manufacturer. They're amazing. They doing amazing things. What I really love, they're really purpose driven. So it's a facility that only does organic. So they don't do anything else. They only do organic. That means that there is no risk of being mixed or something.
Right.
They do a lot for their community as well. They're located in India and they employ a lot of women. I went to visit them and I saw lots of women, even at very like high managerial positions.
Wow.
Because they believe that they can give back a lot to the community, to the local village, because they located in the village. And I was really, I felt proud of doing that because I knew that I'm kind of being part of it. Like by doing this underwear, I'm helping other women all over the world also to rise up because they are involved in crafting this piece of my business.
Yeah.
And the quality is like the quality they provide. They are really,
I can
really
tell
top-notch.
when you gave me the underwear,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is, I would wear that. Are you kidding me? It seems so comfortable and breathable. And I feel like a lot of underwear now is with nylon and Spanx and all this extra thing. And it's like, it's not supposed to be.
No.
It's not healthy. I don't like that.
We don't need to wear plastic on our bodies to feel comfortable.
Definitely not. That's why I love that you do that. And you went the extra mile to find something organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I never had organic till I had kids. So,
Yeah.
So if there is one thing you want that the moms are listening to take away from your story, what would it be?
I would say trust your guts. Because I realized that if I haven't trusted my guts when my daughter was going through the bedwetting, I would never find for her a better solution. And probably she would probably still be in diapers in the nighttime back now because I would force her back into diapers. So trust your guts. And the same actually for my launching the brand. I trusted my guts that this is a good product. I trusted my guts. I quit the job and now I feel so fulfilled and now I feel that I'm on the right path. I'm in the best era of my motherhood and my career because I trusted my guts. I gave my intuition a shot and I never regretted it. So this is what I think all the mom needs to do. We have this amazing power of intuition as moms and as females, and we need to give it all the power to guide our lives. When something doesn't feel right, it probably is not right.
Wow, that is very beautiful advice. Thank you for being here today and sharing this with us. And hopefully there's moms out there that are listening that would love to use something like this because it's super necessary. So I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me over. I'm very
course.
grateful and honored.
Thank you. And for everyone here, thank you for sitting with us. Thank you for listening to us. And I will link all her information in the description so you can check it out. And I'm so excited to see you all next week. And remember, you're doing better than you think. See you next week on Life's a Mom.